Hello, hey guys, my name is Anisha. Welcome back to the 5 Years to 40 podcast. If you're new here, thank you for coming. And if you're returning, it's always good to see you. So, this podcast is dedicated to millennials. We like to talk about topics that affect us so that we can fearlessly face off on our future. Our conversations usually surround things like our health, our finances, our relationships, and our careers. However, so if that's something you're interested in, please be sure to subscribe to the channel right now and hit the notification bell so you'll always keep up with when we're having future episodes when I'm having. The other thing is that I decided to have some fun with the channel and review the show Ready to Love. So if you're a Ready to Love fan, let's get into the episode. I'll be reviewing the episode number 4, which is sipping wine and spilling tea. And guys, listen, I'm so sorry that I'm only just putting this video up. I got my notes together and I lost them, and I couldn't have the time to get it back, to watch the episode again and to watch it again, and then I didn't have the time to sit to get in front of the camera. So I'm really sorry that it's this late coming out, but I'm gonna do better next time. So y'all forgive me, but stick with me because the show is just starting to get good. All right, so let's get into the episode. So let's see. The episode starts with the ladies at the wine bar. I'm gonna have some wine for that. They meet up with Tommy. Tommy's me in the. Where is Tommy's wife? Why is his wife still not here? Like, they just made her do a flashing thing. She just kind of dropped in at the beginning, and we actually thought that she would have been here giving advice, and she's nowhere to be found. Anyhow, so let's keep on moving. Everyone looks good. I'm noticing that there's not a lot of screen time with Kayla. I'm wondering if that means she's gonna be eliminated soon. I hope not. I think she adds a lot of value to the show because she's fun and she's spunky. She's a pretty girl. Anyhow, so Tommy's assignment is to tell the ladies to make sure and dig deep, get to know the men, ask the hard questions and whatnot. And everybody starts to be all, okay, let's do it, let's go ahead. So the people that had dates that they showed us, they start off with Joel and Bernicia. And I really like the two of them together. Although I really didn't understand half of what Joel was saying, because like Joel is really easy on the eyes, but the and the man, I'm telling you, his accent is like, it's hard to get it, but he's really charming. So I'm happy and Venetia is completely into him, we can see it. So I love that he went ahead and he cooked for her. She had eggs and bacon and mimosas. I am a breakfast girl. I love breakfast. Like, you cook my breakfast and we're in love. That's it. End of story. I like to actually cook breakfast. My sisters and them always like to come to my home to do breakfast because I like to do things fancy for breakfast. I will have mimosas. Yes, we will have them at home. Anyhow, she had this breakfast with him. She said no red flags. She thought that he was authentic, and she really loved that she connected so deeply with him, and she could see her family blending with his so very easily, and I could actually see it too. So I don't think she's wrong about that. Then they show us Troy and Alexis. Listen, y'all know I really can't stand Troy. I think Troy is fake as they come, but Alexis isn't far behind when it comes to being fake. But anyhow, so Troy greets her with his customary kiss that he goes out dishing around to everybody, and corny lines. And the corny line is, "Oh, I love your energy. You have good energy, and I felt it from you came into the room." I'm like, boy, hush. He says he gets butterfly every time she sees it, and I'm like, butterflies, goosebumps. Ew. Anyhow, so Alexis knows a straight shooter. She goes straight to it. She asks him about the other ladies who's saying that he'd been kissing on them and feeling on them. And you know what? This whole fool, he's not a half fool. Like, he's a whole fool in tongue. Says, oh no, he doesn't know anything about that. If they might be making a mistake. I'm like, boy, bye. She asked him who his number one is. He doesn't answer. They cut the scene and bring us to Amber and Chris. So Amber and Chris makes for a really beautiful chocolate couple. But I have to tell you, I really wish Chris wasn't so deeply into his feminine. Like, Chris is a, and it's okay for men to be to absorb their feminine. The problem with most guys is that they so far away from their feminine. But like, Chris is deeply into his and almost behaves like a woman, not feminine. Like he is masculine, but he behaves like a woman. So he's telling her, oh, she should fight for him, and like that's the lines you hear women saying. Like I don't like it. I think men have to provide that warrior energy. Like he has to be the one to protect, and yeah. But anyhow, that's what he's doing, and she's totally into it because she is very good with her masculine energy. I guess her job and her upbringing, which they shared a little bit. God, I just put together this here. So anyway, they shared about her background, which kind of helped me to soften my opinion about Amber a little bit, because I really thought she was the kind of person just gonna run through people. But understanding she had a background where she was adopted and she kind of had to prove herself. At least she thought that's what she needed to do. So people who have that kind of, history, usually it's harder for them to, they almost feel like they need to prove twice as much to the world. Like, look, I am strong, I'm worthy, and I'm beautiful. And that I found that happens. Of course, you guys can let me know what your opinion is on that, but from my experience, that kind of happens. But let me know what you feel about Amber and Chris's union. But I think they might actually make a good couple, because Chris is okay with, he says he wants to be supportive and give her support and companionship. And he sounds like a puppy. Puppies give support and companionship. Come on now. But he seems to be okay with that, and she seems to be okay with being the woman completely in charge. So, hey, match made in heaven, sounds like. Then they go on to David and Stacy. Stacy is a Pilates instructor, it would seem. So she wanted David to get in touch with his body, she says. So she had him doing Pilates. She was making jokes about his age. She said he's a little old. And he was like, don't be careful with how you're making jokes or whatnot. But anyhow, listen, the thing is, I think that David is, like I told you, I think David is the imposter. He is the imposter. Get him off the island. But he is very good at clothing, and he's in denial for his own self. He don't really believe he's an imposter. But anyhow, they end up talking, and he says he's into marriage. He's here for marriage and whatnot, and he seems very, very serious. I like that after 2 failed marriages, he's still that excited and that serious about getting in for the marriage, But anyhow, they start talking about privacy, and Stacy says that, he asked if she would be interested in knowing her partner's passwords and having access to the Instagram accounts. And she's like, no, it's like people entitled to their privacy. She does not need to know anybody's password, anything like that, because she respects the people and whatnot. And David apparently is so old school that he's like, well, if you're married and you're together, you should have access to everybody's stuff. And let me tell you, I know people who are deeply Christian, and I don't think they don't agree with what he's saying. Of course, guys, let me know what y'all think about that, because is it fair to say that when we're married, you must have access to all my passwords and all my journals and all my Instagram accounts? I just find it's like it's too much. Where's the trust factor? If I trust you, I trust you. Like, it's not. And if I have to go hunting, then that means there's something already off. Maybe we can have access to like a joint account when it comes to money, because when you're married, you should have a joint account. But to be like in somebody's profile, and I wouldn't be interested in that. I wouldn't want to be involved in it. I mean, I remember when I was younger and I, wanted to get into know what going on and wanting to get read messages in people's phones. A bad idea. It is trouble. It is like, just don't do it. And I don't ever want that. I don't want that from. I don't want somebody to have to feel like if they can't trust me and to read my phone. My phone will be open. Like you could, but to get my, it just feels weird. So anyhow, y'all tell me how y'all feel about it, especially if there's any married people looking at this, because any perspective, I've never been married and I want to be, so maybe there's something I need to learn. This could be a learning thing. So y'all tell me what y'all feel about that. Anyhow, Stacy, after the conversation, Stacy realizes that she's really not interested in David because privacy is important to her and it's not about having something to hide, it's just about respect. So I think David got the axe for Stacy after that date and that answer. Right, then they have a group date with AJ and Liz and Alex and Jason. So sorry, Alexis and Jason. Alexis, oh yeah, she come in, she again about they gonna win, and Liz actually won the game for everybody. Miss Alexis always we can win the game, and then happening after that. But then they kind of separate and everybody goes to their own little thing. And so Liz and AJ sitting talking, and Alexis and Jason. I like Liz and AJ. I think Liz is missing on a good opportunity because AJ is one of the persons who said he's here for marriage as well. Now AJ is a worldly guy. You can see that he's been out there. But he's settled, he's grounded, he says, and if he's honest about it, he can help somebody like Liz, who is a lot more sheltered, to really understand the beauty and intricacies of relationships. Like they could have a really good thing, and she, who's so focused and so driven in terms of her career and whatnot, can help him with his job, because his career is something that is easy to get fickle. If you're not focused, it's highly competitive, you can get out the door. But so I think they could complement each other so well. But Liz is looking for a traditional person and somebody with a lot of church, like a background from church. So I think she's hooked on David for that. But we get to that later. They end up talking about a few things. I like how AJ is handling her. He is like he understands women very well. That guy, he knows women. And he's making her feel comfortable and she's giggly and whatnot. So anyhow, but I don't think she wants to be with him. So anyhow, they cut and they go on to Jason and Alexis. There's nothing going on with Jason and Alexis. Jason is talking to Alexis because Jason knows Alexis likes him and realizes that Alexis is a little fiery, and so he'll probably stick around with Alexis because if he says the right things, he gonna get some. She's gonna give it up. That's why he's there. But he don't like her. You can see all of the body language. It's like he is cringing. He wants to get away from her. Like she's sitting over here, he's sitting over there. He doesn't want to be anywhere near her, but he's entertaining the process because men are so freaking weird. They would entertain somebody because they think the person wants them and smash and disappear. So ladies, pay attention. Pay attention. Not all attention is good intention. So not all attention is good intention. That's a good one. So pay attention. All right. So, and then she goes and tells him something about her cycle. Like, you a big woman. Why are you telling this little boy about your cycle for? And why you be when like there's so much other things to talk about. Stop it. I'm not saying stop it at all. Alexis just makes me like, Anyhow, they move on to I talked about Liz and AJ already. I did. Okay, so Chris and Ronald, unexpected. Totally, I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming at all. Totally out of left field. And I like it. I mean, they look like if they were having genuine fun. Ron has had a tough life. Like, he's been to jail and he's turned his life around, which again explains the whole tradition, the whole thing where, you know, he works hard and he's a hustler. But so he is, this hard work is a way to escape the things that he would have gone through before. So he doesn't want to go back to whatever life he would have left on the street that caused him to go to jail. So he's like this multi-passionate entrepreneur because he's into like car sales, he sells caskets, he's into, but he wants to be like the provider kind of guy. And I suspect maybe he didn't have a dad in his life. I could be wrong, guys. Tell me what you feel. I mean, I'm here psychoanalyzing these people, but I just feel like he looks like the guy who may have not had a strong father figure, so he wants to do it and do it right. So he gonna have to be the man. And the beautiful thing is, Chrysanthemum likes to be the girl. She wants somebody to take care of her. She needs a man who pays her bills. She wants a man to send her to get her hair, her feet, and her eyelashes done, everything. Like, she is that kind of girl. She wants to be pampered and taken care of. She's not on the whole independent woman power tripping thing, like we split the bills. She's not a Kira, split no bills. None of that shit. When we go out, you pay the bills. That's a Chrysanthemum. She believes she's a delicate flower. And good for her. Good for you, girl. And I'm glad that she caught somebody like Ron, because I think Ron would have time for them cheating thing. Like, he is all about working, getting you babied up, getting the house built, you know, making it to prove to the streets I can do this. So I think they might complement each other very well. So I would like to see how that evolves. It was totally unexpected, but I would like to see how it evolves. He is a protector, right? So finally, the final date was Ron and David. Oh, what am I saying? Was Liz and David. Ron and David. Not that kind of show. Liz and David. So David, with his serial killer looking face, comes in and he starts talking about he wants to say grace before they eat, and he is, you know, he really has a genuine connection with her, and you know, they have a spiritual foundation together, and well, he actually admitted to her that he left the church after a while. She didn't look so thrilled about that, but anyhow, he told her when he was in college this happened, and you know, he didn't have enough exposure. His mother used to answer the phone, praise the Lord, and that used to make him that used to make him feel so embarrassed. So he grew up so sheltered. So when he go to college, that's why he broke out in college. She ain't tell her that exactly, but that we know that what happened. He went and wild the hell out when people college. But anyhow, so and then, you know, Liz is like, oh my gosh, I understand. She admitted that she was in situationships. She admitted she was in situationships, which we knew from the beginning. Liz talking about she was in a relationship for 17 years, and like, girl, you're not claiming those people that you've been with. That's what's happening. But and I feel like that for me feels a little. I get it. She's a grown woman, so she thinks, well, it wasn't in a relationship, so you don't get the privilege. But don't be out here doing that, like, because that's decisions you made. You didn't have to be with people who didn't want to be with you fully. But I love Liz, so I'm not going to knock her too hard. I'm just saying, let's be real. Like, just be real with me, all right? Relationship, situationship, sis, we understand, but just don't try to pretend. Anyhow, so she sucks up all the spewing foolishness that David out here. She just eat it all up, and she's ready. She wants it to work out with David. She wants to have another date with him. You know, David talked about his 2 marriages, basically glossed it over, or at least the editing looked like all he did was gloss it over, because he was like, oh, you know, well, the first one I wasn't ready yet, and I didn't have so much to learn, and the second one the person just, I did everything and the person wasn't there. He basically took no responsibility for either of those marriages. And if she's at that age and not realizing when a man is able to just pass the blame off to somebody else, then she's a wonderful, accomplished woman, but she needs to know these streets. This guy is telling her exactly what he wants her to hear. And from the first time I saw David, that's what I see. David is like a psychopathic kind of person. Like, he is too good master manipulator. He just knows what to say, how to say it, and he's just reeling her in. So I'm not thrilled that Liz like him so much, but what we do, we just have to watch and see how it go on. She asked him if he's ready for love, and you know, this fool gonna start to cry, and then he says the words what I tell Allyuh. He says, I just don't want nobody to leave again. That sounds like a serial killer. Serial killer much? I've been saying this since the beginning of the series. Alright? I don't know. I just cannot with him. I really cannot. And I'm really pissed off that Liz is taking it all in. She not seeing that he's fake. So anyhow, that was the end of that. Then they go back to the wine bar. Every time I think about the wine bar, I just gotta have a little bit of rosé chap. This is so good. It's a good way to end the day on a Wednesday. Venetia admits that she is totally in deep like with Joel. She talked about how the egg, well, no, Stacy was like, oh, you got egg makers in love. I really like Stacy. She's like your you know, the bestie who, she's your rah cheerleader. You know, your friend who just always for you. Yeah, I think she's a great girl. The women agree. Liz talked about her dates with David. And she said that she's glad that he's a church boy and she's a church girl. And God is trying to tell her something. Yeah, God is trying to tell her, run away. But we'll see how that works out for you, Liz girl. She said it was a breath of fresh air, and I was rolling my eyes. The ear that coming out. Whatever. Amber talked about Chris. She said that they bonded on the similarities in their background, and she's definitely feeling him, and I can see it working out. Oh, sorry, my fat was just moving around. I can see it working out, so I'll be happy for them. And then Chrysanthemum talked about how Ron surprised her, and they seem to be hitting it off. Then they move on to the people who they don't like. Stacy shared about the information with David, how David was wanting like your personal information. The women agreed they didn't like how that sounded at all, and they all agreed that they're not feeling Troy. So the two men that were in the bottom was Troy, the idiot, and David, the serial killer. So let's see. Amber basically interrogated David. So Amber don't play. You can see she's a DA. She was in work mode when she was talking to David. And, you know, of course, Psycho comes out and says, I know exactly who said that. That was Stacy. Passed all the blame, takes no responsibility for the fact that he did say what he said. You know, but anyhow, that is his role. I'm telling y'all, let me wait and see what's going on. Or you'll tell me different. If you find what I saying is wrong, tell me. Don't leave me out here on the people YouTube talking and you know what I'm saying is not right. Tell me. But I just feel this guy has some issues. Watch and see. So anyway, she basically tell him that they still let him stay, and yeah, Stacy talks to Troy and tells him that he's not ready to love, and I'm glad. He needed to go home. You know what I saw though? Owen released a clip. Apparently he and Chrysanthemum had a date too. They didn't put it in it didn't make the cut, but Chrysanthemum said he invited her over to a house, and the house didn't even look like if it was his house, because he did not take her into no living room. He didn't seem like if he know the house. And I'm like, this fool. He probably didn't even have Listen, Troy just needed to go. I'm thanking you, baby Jesus, that he is gone. He needed to go. So next week, I'm thinking they didn't show a lot of Kayla. They didn't show nothing with Tresla. I'm wondering if those two ladies will be in the bottom, because really the people who getting screen time now is Amber, Alexis, the drama queen, so she gonna stay, and Alexis, Liz is getting a lot of screen time as well. But and what's great is that none of these women are competing with each other. There's no cross, except maybe Liz and Venetia will have a cross, because Jason, like Liz, and AJ don't have any tabs with anybody right now, so I don't know how that's gonna work in the future. But yeah, it should be very interesting to see how it comes out next. I am excited about the show. Let me know whatever I missed. Let me know how you're feeling about the show. Let me know what you're thinking about, and if you know, just give me ideas. I love to hear your ideas. Leave your comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm so sorry that I just put up the video, but I'll put up earlier next time. Please forgive me, and please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast as well, so you keep up with all the things we're talking about health and relationships and finances and careers. And follow me on Instagram, 5 years to 40, where I share little tidbits and smidges of other things that's going on in my life. I'm really glad that you're doing this journey with me. Thank you so much, and have a good night, guys. Take care of yourselves and keep doing the most. Mwah.